No need for words or crime scene footage. Sometimes just one photo alone can reveal something hauntingly horrifying. The painful stories that a photo conveys, because people understand this image serves as a reminder that a tragedy and hell exists around us, right here in this world. This image spread across social media. Media outlets are sharing pictures with content. Over 30 passports found in a trash bin in Cambodia, warning that human trafficking has reached alarming levels. Without context, people immediately understood what these photos signify. The passports believed to be from Thailand were thrown into the trash bin like worthless items. Many areas in Southeast Asia have become bases for scam syndicates, mainly operated by Chinese, with deep connections to Chinese criminal organizations. The problem stems from these areas' geographical proximity to China, and lacks border control and law enforcement. Even some noticed within that chaotic pile, there were also Vietnamese passports. The green passport, while some think the dark blue passport is Vietnam's. This might be information that needs verification. However, that information only adds to the horror this image brings. The Cambodia scam issue has long been a painful problem not only in Cambodia and Thailand, but now the world has learned about the darkest corner of Cambodia that even the Cambodian government can do nothing to resolve. Regarding the passport disposal, many hypotheses have been. There are reports that many victims were lured to Cambodia for high-paying jobs, but actually got trapped in closed compounds in Sihanoukville, Poi Phet. As soon as they arrived, their passports and identification documents were confiscated. Senseless, yet. Without passports, victims lose legal identity, cannot move, cannot contact diplomatic agency. In the eyes of traffickers, they become living assets, commodities being exchanged, sold from one ring to another. Throwing passports into trash bins could be quick actions happening right at the crime scene by traffickers. Immediately, victims' passports were seized and put into trash bins. Perhaps criminals want to ensure victims lose their documents quickly for illegal transportation. Many victims recount being forced to sign fake contracts, assaulted when resisting, threatened with death, having property confiscated if refusing, being beaten or sold elsewhere. Destroying passports isn't just about erasing traces, it also serves as a psychological tool, making victims desperate, believing they have no way out. Criminals might perform acts claiming they accidentally lost the passport, or create scenarios making victims think they lost their passports themselves, now having to follow the scammers for protection, to remake passports, or simply another way to earn money. Little do they know, when passports are discarded like that, their path home has been cut off. In the dark world of human trafficking, losing documents means losing legal existence rights. These criminal networks typically operate under disguised business models, with brokers in various countries, border transporters, and management groups in Cambodia. All operate tightly, exploiting legal loopholes and the trust of rural people. Unemployed youth. The story of cross-border scam trafficking in Cambodia is no longer news, but each mention still sends chills down the spine, because behind it isn't just crime, but also major systemic gaps, power issues, and human greed. These areas, which many experts call underground autonomous zones, or where Cambodian law seems to stop at the gate, while inside is the private world of human trafficking rings, online scams, gambling, betting, and high-tech crime. What's notable is that most of these places operate under the guise of special economics, invested in by Chinese corporations, enjoying tax incentives and little oversight. When the COVID-19 pandemic broke out, numerous casinos closed, and bosses shifted to online fraud, human trafficking, and forced. Victims come from many Southeast Asian countries, even China and South Korea, tricked into coming for high salaries, or kidnapped and sold from one zone to another, each person priced from $3,000 to $10,000. Some opinions suggest that the Cambodian government is well aware of this situation but cannot. The reason many regional observers point to is owing too much debt to China. As of the end of 2024, China accounts for nearly 40% of Cambodia's total foreign debt, equivalent to over $4.5 billion. Sihanoukville, labeled by many analysts as an international crime hub, is precisely the city where Chinese capital has poured in most. In that context, Cambodia cracking down hard on these zones would be no different from confronting its largest investment, something Phnom Penh always has to consider. Images circulated, hundreds of people escaping, highly guarded buildings, incidents of severe physical coercion have sparked regional public outrage. However, despite consecutive crackdown campaigns, the scourge continued. Criminals adapt quickly, relocating, changing models, or obtaining new licenses under the conflict between economic development based on foreign investment and controlling sovereignty and law enforcement. When a country allows too many gray areas to exist, crime will slip through the cracks. This is a gap that has now become too difficult to eliminate. Organized crime operates in chains, has international networks, and knows how to exploit both economic and political loopholes. Cambodia, with some areas rapidly developing due to foreign capital influence. However, this capital flows into casino resorts, infrastructure causing land prices to rise, forcing local labor. There is a segment of foreigners who come to profit at any cost. When an area is quickly transformed into a special economic zone, timely control mechanisms and legal inspections can't keep up, creating a golden opportunity for. Some media analyses have pointed out the role of Chinese roots in organizing closed-off zones specializing in fraud and labor exploitation. There are analytical opinions that when a country receives significant investment and faces debt pressure, they will be cautious in dealing with major investors or in strongly intervening in areas dominated by investors. In Cambodia, the economic-political relationship with a major partner raises public suspicion that there are sensitive zones. Meanwhile, in Thailand, still known as Asia's tourism paradise, few know that behind the bustling night markets and busy ports, another hidden world exists. Interwoven among migrant flows, poor laborers, and transnational crime networks, Thailand is also a transit hub for human trafficking routes from Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia.
Victims can be migrant workers, women tricked into working at karaoke bars, or adolescents.
Previous incidents made the public realize that victims of fraud rings are no longer confined to Southeast Asia. On October 10th, the Korea Times reported that South Korean Foreign Minister Cho Yun summoned the Cambodian ambassador to strongly protest the continuous kidnapping, extortion, and killing of South Korean citizens in Cambodia.
This is a rare action showing Seoul's anger and concern over the ongoing chaos.
Previously, a 22-year-old South Korean man, Mr. A, left his hometown. A few days later, his family received a call demanding 50 million won in ransom with cold threats. After 4 days of silence, contact was cut. Although the cause of death was clarified, his body has not been repatriated. Due to local autopsy and cremation procedures, repatriation is expected by the end of this month. Relatives in Seoul say all documents state the boy died of cardiac arrest due to physical impact. His body remains in a freezer in Cambodia, feeling as if he is being harmed once again. On August 8th, his body was found in Bokor Mountain, Kampot Province, with a conclusion of death from cardiac arrest due to extreme pain. His body has not been brought back to the country to this day, leaving his family in Seoul restless. Kidnapping cases of South Korean citizens in Cambodia are skyrocketing from 10 to 20 cases per year in the 2022-2023 to 220 cases last year and 330 cases in just the first 8 months. The South Korean government has had to raise travel warnings, especially in high-risk areas like Sihanoukville, Bokor, and Babbitt. At the same time, it calls on Cambodia to dismantle scam hubs to ensure the safety of foreigners. Initially, many Cambodian citizens welcomed investment from China. Casinos create jobs for police officers, but also bring organized crime. These places have lost their original beauty, which was once a favorite destination for weekend getaways. Now, casinos have tarnished the reputation of Cambodia and legitimate businesses.
Like the journey? Subscribe and join the next expedition.